Google's secret China project effectively ended after internal confrontation. So a little bit of a refresher. Google was helping China develop censored search engines. Google was just openly doing that. And, to give credit where credit's due, a lot of the Google employees were not cool with that. Some of them were blowing the whistle. They were making a fuss. So when there was a deal offered by the Pentagon, Google wasn't part of that. And the reason Google wasn't part of that was because, hey, they're taking enough flack because of the Chinese search engine. They don't need any more bad press. Now, Jeff Bezos was quick to jump at the opportunity to work with the Pentagon. But nonetheless, Google, they weren't throwing their hat in the ring. Why? Because they're helping China develop a censored search engine. And of course, there's the alarm. The alarm, are they bringing that to the U.S., which is a valid concern, a very valid concern, and that's putting it gently. But it looks like maybe there's some good news. So let's go back to the article here. Boom. Google has been forced to shut down a data analysis system it was using to develop a censored search engine for China after members of the company's privacy team raised internal complaints that it had been kept secret from them. The internal rift over the system has had massive ramifications, effectively ending work on the censored search engine known as Dragonfly, according to two sources familiar with the plan. The dispute began in mid-August when The Intercept revealed that Google employees working on Dragonfly had been using a Beijing-based website to help develop blacklists for censored search engine, which was designed to block out broad categories of information related to democracy, human rights, and peaceful protest, in accordance with strict rules on censorship in China that are enforced by the country's authoritarian Communist Party government. According to the two Google sources, engineers working on Dragonfly obtained large data sets showing queries that Chinese people were entering into the 265.com search engine over in China. At least one of the engineers obtained a key needed to access an application programming interface, or API, associated with 265.com and used it to harvest search data from the site. Members of Google's privacy team, however, were kept in the dark about the use of 265.com. The engineers then used the data they pulled to learn about the kind of things that people located in mainland China routinely search for in Mandarin. This helped them. So they're getting people's search histories to then determine how to censor them. And other members of Google teams didn't know they were doing that. So it sounds like thus far, and we're going to continue on with this and unpack more of it, it seems like thus far, they knew they were doing something shady. I mean, they had to. I mean, just this project alone, you described the project. People that work at Google, they're not dumb. They're very intelligent people. Pretty much all of them way smarter than me. These are tech geniuses. When you say something like, yeah, so we're going to help China develop a search engine that censors a bunch of content and censors what people can find, especially when it comes to sensitive topics. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody that wears an employee badge read 1984 in high school. They know what they're doing. They know why it's dangerous. But, man, turns out the mechanisms are even shadier. All right, so let's go back to the article. And I'm sure some people opposed it out the gate. I mean, I'm sure that happened. I don't know. I don't work at Google. But I'm sure there were employees out the gate that were like, this isn't okay. I think that's why so much was leaked in the first place. All right, so through this process, the engineers compiled a list of thousands of banned websites, which they integrated into Dragonfly's search platform, so it would purge links. Under normal company protocol, analysts of people's search queries is subject to tight constraints and should be reviewed by the company's privacy staff, whose job is to safeguard user rights. But the privacy team only found out about the 265.com data after The Intercept revealed it. And they were pissed. So basically, the members doing the real nitty-gritty on how to censor websites bypassed the privacy team. So they didn't even follow Google's protocol, which Google agreed to this project in the first place. So it's not like Google is some innocent entity. At least the decision makers at the top certainly aren't. But to do this job, they couldn't even follow Google's code of conduct. and run stuff by the privacy team. That's what happened here. So they got to shut it down. So last week, Pichai, Google CEO, appeared before Congress, where he faced questions on Dragonfly. He said right now there were no plans to launch the search engine. They refused to rule it out in the future. Google had originally aimed to launch Dragonfly between January and April 2019. Leaks about the plan and the extraordinary backlash that ensued both internally and externally appear to have forced company executives to shelve it, at least in the short term, two sources familiar with the project said. Google did not respond to requests for comment. The people won this one. The people who pressured externally and internally won this one. So this is good news. Does it mean it's going away forever? Not necessarily. It could creep back up. So that's what happened. They couldn't follow, and it's probably because it was such a shitty project, they weren't able to. They couldn't follow Google's code of conduct to complete this project, so they didn't. And the people making those judgment calls to infiltrate people's search history and to just say, privacy team be damned, those people were probably the people that had no moral objection to doing what they were doing. So here's an idea, Google, and, you know, the decision makers at Google, once again, way smarter than me. But here's the thing. If you have to undertake a project that doesn't even abide by the code of conduct of your company, don't take it on. Maybe, just maybe, Google will learn this lesson. I don't know. Money talks. Money talks a hell of a lot louder than this show. But dare to dream, right?
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make